Hello everybody. I wanted to just show you something with our classroom ballistic pendulum demonstrator. So yesterday we started this lab by using some YouTube videos of actual firearms being fired into a hanging block, and by measuring the change in height of that block we could backtrack and find the muzzle velocity of a gun. This classroom demonstrator lets us do the same thing. This cannon fires a pinball into this acrylic block. And I think it's interesting taking a look at what's going on with it because it lets us know what happens if the bullet does not embed in the block. And it really gives us a nice little lesson about impulse. Now, this device is fairly poorly made, so it only goes into the block sometimes. So I'm hoping this first shot it will actually embed in the block. Okay, it did. So as you could see, the pointer went up to about 20 degrees, and we can use that with a formula which I'll teach in class and is on the next slide to calculate what the change in height for the block was. But now I'm going to deliberately alter it so that the bullet doesn't go in, and we should take a look at what happens to the height. So I'm just going to lay the camera down for a second, or maybe I can prop it up with this. So reset the pointer. Now I'm just going to drop the string a little bit so it definitely doesn't hit. And something really interesting is going to happen. So we'll pull it back to 2 clicks, which is where it was last time. Alright, let's have a different shot now. So obviously this is not going to embed in the block, and I just want to see what happens to the angle. It goes a lot higher. And the reason for that, if you think about it, the bullet bounced. So it had to hit the block had to bring it to rest, and then it had to reverse its direction. And what that is a second dose of impulse. It had an impulse to stop the ball and a second impulse to knock it back. And the result was that the block had more of an impulse, and therefore it went higher. So if it ricochets backwards, typically we get too high an angle, and therefore too high a height change of the block, and it overestimates the speed.